So we're doing Wednesday, April 15th math, and those fraction cards that I asked you to cut out last week and save are what we need today to do this math. Now, this is how we're going to work this math lesson. I really want you to have the experience of doing this activity and searching for equivalent fractions on your own before I just give you the answers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this page. Then I'm going to show some instructions for a MathBox page that comes next. Then I'm going to stop the video. And then I'm just going to ask that you complete the page on your own and you complete your math boxes on your own. Then when you've tried all of it as best you can, then I want you to watch the second video. And in that video, I will go through all of the answers just so you can check things over, because I really think it would be best if you have the time to try this. And in order to do this activity, you have to have time to go through these cards and hold them next to each other and compare them. So we've talked earlier this year about how the word equivalent means equal. It comes it's connected to the word equal, which means the same. So in order to do this activity, of course, you need your whole deck of cards. I took the time to put mine not in order, but I turned them all the same way so that the fraction is showing at the bottom, so that they're not all helter-skelter. So I did that. So this, some of them, they all have a fraction on the back. And then when you turn it over, you actually see that pictured. We're going to need the side that actually pictures the blue color in order to do the comparing for these. So if you'll look on page 194, you'll see the top line has the fraction 0.2s or 0 halves. We are going to look in the deck for fractions that are equal to 0 halves. Now the first thing you're going to do for each line is find that very fraction that's mentioned. So I went and pulled out 0 halves. And I'm looking for fractions that are equal to it. Well, just looking at it, if you have 0 halves, you have nothing. There's no blue shaded there, because if you have 0 out of 2 pieces, you didn't get any, right? So you probably don't really need to hold each card up next to this to see if it's equal, but if you did need to, this is what you would do. You hold them up side by side. Well, obviously, 0 out of 2 is nothing. 4 out of 8 is a fraction that would be equivalent to half, right? It's not equivalent to 0 out of 2. So that one would not match. And if you needed to hold more up, you could, right? But I went through my deck and I quickly discovered that this is the only other card that is equal to 0 halves in my fraction card set. And that would be 0 out of 4. And so what you're going to do when you find these is you're going to write them on the line. So the fraction card in my deck that's equal to 0 halves is 0 fourths. Now, there are other fractions in the world that are equal to 0 halves, but there's only one in your deck that's equal. So that's the only one that we're going to write down for this activity. Now, when you get to the fraction 1/2, however, I believe you are going to find more than one answer. Some of these lines will have more than one fraction that's equal. Some may only have one. Some may have 2. Some may have a whole bunch. So I want you on your own to go through and do each line. And then if you see any patterns, describe them. Take a minute and write that down. And then, like I said, go back and watch the next math video when you've done your math on your own and check your answers. I'll have all of the answers filled in when I come back with the next video. The other thing that I would like you to work on your own is in your math journal also. It is Math Boxes, page 195. You can leave this one in your book because we are not doing the backside today. So for this one, we're taking a walk down memory lane. Notice the decimal right there. That is not a comma. So a 3 is in the ones place, but that 1 is a decimal. So that 1 means 1 what? Is it a tenth? Is it a hundredth? Is it a thousandth? Some of you may have even gotten back your decimal place value book in your goodies. If you have that, you might want to dig that out and refresh your memory. So give that a try. We'll go over those in the next video. Box number 2, Look at the spinner, see if you can find the true statement, read those. You could use your fraction cards for this, write 4 fractions equivalent to 1/2, or you could just use what you've learned about fractions that are equal to 1/2, or that poster that we made a couple days ago with the number strips could help you too. You're going to need a straight edge to try to make the symmetric other half. The line of symmetry goes straight here, so make a mirror image. There is a sharing problem, looks like a sharing or dividing problem. Try to fill those parts in correctly. And then there are some division problems for you there. So that's what I would like you to work on independently. And then when you are done, watch the next video and check out how you have done on your own. If you have extra time today, gosh, it sure would be great if you would do a multiplication time test or get on one of those math sites and practice. Always know that those options are there for you to practice. We want you to keep practicing. So keep up the great work. I really appreciate all of the work you're doing from home. I know it's hard when you're home with brothers and sisters and dogs and cats and video games and all of those kinds of things. It's hard to concentrate. So I appreciate the effort you're putting in. It's going to help you next year in 4th grade. The more you do right now, just reviewing and learning, it's going to help things be easier for you next year, and I think that's important. But I miss each one of you, and I wish we could be together in person. And someday we'll see each other again. So take care. Have a great day.